Howdy everybody. Today is a lazy Saturday for me. I'm all up to scratch with the editing that I need to do for the other channel, and I've got some gaming content actually recorded as of right now that will be on its way to you soon, and I've got some spare time. As the video did really well of me just sitting outside and discussing I think my thoughts on YouTube and the content space itself. You guys really enjoyed it, and I was almost quite shocked at how many people enjoyed it. So I thought what I would do is I've got the football on in the background. It's currently 75 minutes into a game. Newcastle-Chelsea is currently 2-2. So I've got that on in the background. I've got some paper in front of me because I fancy doing some doodling. And I asked you guys in the Discord, is there any particular topics that you would like me just to discuss or share thoughts on? As I'm just sat here, I thought I'd just do another sort of chill style video. I was going to go outside, but as of 2 minutes ago, they stopped, but someone has been using some form of heavy machinery all morning, and I thought that's not possible. So I just thought I'd sit in here anyway, plus it allows me to do some drawing at the same time. This one was interesting. This is from O-Town. Hello, O-Town. I feel like a bit of a shite for suggesting this, but the importance of giving your brain a break from socials, or the internet really. I don't think enough people realise what the barrage does for their wiring. The fact that something like doomscrolling has not only become a thing that is accepted and joked about, I think we really need to turn it off every day. Work and school doesn't count for me as downtime. Or maybe I'm just outdated. No, I don't think you're outdated at all. I know, just as myself, as someone who works, from home, I'm a freelancer, the ability to distinguish between work and downtime when, the desk is for the same thing. Like, I sit and record videos here, I'll sit and watch YouTube videos here in my spare time, but I also sit and take Zoom calls here. So I don't have spaces to distinguish between different areas of my life, and I think a lot of people have become that way, and yeah, I think it does bring its own problems. The social platforms are designed, again, this is going to sound hypocritical because I'm a YouTuber who's now talking about how social algorithms work, but social algorithms are designed to keep you watching and keep you scrolling. I think long form content has its place, short form less so, unless you are, I don't know, there could be a positive purpose to shorts or reels or TikToks and whatever. I do think long form is a little bit more substantial in terms of what you get from a video, as opposed to, what do you get from YouTube Shorts, really, at the end of the day, other than a headache? But there is still an algorithmic protocol to it. There is still, the platform wants you to keep scrolling and waste time because it earns them money. At the end of the day, your attention on this platform is what makes the platform money. If the product is free, you're the product, and that's because they deliver ads to you. And then more importantly on that, you've got YouTubers putting ads within videos as brand deals or sponsorships or whatever. So you have ads at the beginning, you have mid-roll ads, then even probably an ad at the end. And then within that, you're probably getting brand sponsorships or affiliate links, like every couple of minutes. Do you know what I mean? There is so much advertising and just a shitty encapsulation of product selling through social media. And the problem is it's encouraged. I've this week, actually, I can read you these. Let me pull these up. It's still 2-2. All right. Who's come off? Palmer's come off. Santos has gone on. Fantastic. Let me read you these two emails that I got. Hi, Claudie TV. That's always good. That's how you know they're using email scraping tools like snov.io and all that stuff. They're not even they don't even know who I am. I've been watching your channel lately, and I have to say I really enjoy the way you engage with your audience. The energy and authenticity in your reactions makes your videos stand out. Okay, well, this is I can tell you exactly how they do this, because as someone who works in marketing, this is how they send a cold email. They will use scraping data or some form of tool to look at YouTube channels within a certain niche or within a certain subscriber rating. So they'll look for YouTubers probably between 10 and 50,000 subs, which would be me. Basically scrape my email from the contact email that's linked with your YouTube channel. They will then put some bullshit opening sentence that usually utilizes AI. I imagine with something saying the energy and authenticity in your reactions makes your videos stand out. That's AI. Then it will continue with some bullshit like this. We understand how much time and effort go into maintaining that level of quality. No, you don't. Especially when you're juggling uploads and editing all at once. I won't say the company name just out of respect, but you know, we help you do this and grow video editing, sponsorship, connecting with brands, and then they basically take a commission. From what I can tell, and by looking at it, it's anywhere between 10 and 15%. It's fair, it's a company, they're just trying to help, and maybe their services are great, but that was one. And then the next day, I'm a partnerships member at company, a tiered membership platform built to help creators earn more without changing what already works. We cap fees at 5%, brackets lowest in the industry. Cool. Alongside creators like, and they've mentioned two people I've never heard of. I'll be open to a quick call. I'd love to learn how you run memberships today and what your community values most. Then come back with a competitive partnership offer tailored to your content and audience. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm a digital marketer who's worked freelance. I've sent a lot of these cold emails, and I know half the time the person sending them is just trying to come across as someone who can help you. And sometimes they're good. I would like to think I'm someone who's good, and I'd like to think I'm someone who's worthwhile for the people that I have worked with. But when you get something like this, we can structure this with performance cash bonuses plus a 3 to 12 month term of minimum guarantees. I mean, I've looked into the company, that they are legit, have a standard website, I've checked the site traffic and all this kind of stuff, checked via LinkedIn to make sure these people are legit, and they are, right? So you've got creator, audience. Let me tell you how you can connect with other companies trying to make money. So you're trying to make money, people are trying to make money. Here's how you get money from your audience to somebody else's company that you don't really know. You don't even really probably know the products, but we're going to get you to know the products just so that your viewers that give up their time to watch your content give money to this company, and then in return you will get a bit of extra money from this company. I mean, is that where we've got through content? Like, is that where we're at? It just feels so weird to me. I think it's one thing sending a direct message or an email, which I know I have done, to the managing director or CFO of a company or marketing officer of a company and being like, look, from what I can tell, you're doing this. This is what I would like to suggest to you. If you have time, can we discuss it? That's a very, very different business offer to this. This is, you're an individual, you're a creator, you're struggling to make money from the platform. Can I show you how we can help you make a load of money from the platform? And that money is going to come really directly from your viewers, except they're not actually paying directly to you for something that you've built or created. They're actually going to send it to these people over here, which is some company probably registered in Dubai, to someone we don't even know. And in return, you are then going to get 20%. Like, is that where we're at? Because that freaks me out. I don't like that. That's an awful way, I think, of doing content and interesting shit. I think it's terrible. Chelsea still 2-2. All right. Also, I'm a Arsenal fan predominantly, but I just enjoy watching good football. So I'm not really rooting for anyone here. I don't know. I like to see Newcastle win because they're more of an underdog in my eyes. And I actually do quite like Newcastle. But anyway, so sorry, Otan. I drifted from your initial social media message and the idea of taking a break. I agree. I like the idea of taking some time away and taking a break. I've made some shifts actually on my phone. I'm currently recording this a couple of days before Christmas. I'm not quite sure when it'll be out. I will be taking a break over the Christmas holidays, but I thought I'd record it anyway. Postman. Yeah, I've basically added a different filter on my phone. So it's currently very red. Like very, very red. If it's really bright lighting, I sometimes have to turn it off just to see stuff. But I've found, especially in the evening, the strain on my eyes is like so minimal, and it's also really weird when you sit and use your phone when it's this tinted and you're under like quite heavy blue light LEDs. It's weird. All the other tones around it will look really green and really blue, especially daylight, But as you get into the evening, you realise how much more comfortable it is to have that level of tint on your eyes. And I can show you roughly how I put it on. You can turn it on or off at any point in time as well. I'm on an iPhone, but I'm sure any Android phone has the capacity to do this. I'd be surprised if it didn't. So if you're on iPhone, you're going to go to accessibility. You're then going to go to display and text size. You go down to colour filters, and then you can turn that on, and you can do different ones. So this would be it normally, right? So that's what it would be normally. And then this is what it's like on. Like, how crazy is that difference? Look at the way the light changes. So like how much easier that is on your eyes. And it is a bit darker, like I say, in broad daylight. If you're out somewhere and you need to check your phone, I do sometimes switch it off just to, you can also change the hue, by the way, just to like be able to see something clearer if it's on dark mode or something. But you can adjust the hue as well. So you can like lean more towards, I don't know why you'd ever go like disco, woo. You can change the intensity as well, as much as you like, but I leave it up pretty high. You can go even higher than that as well. And you can also do grayscale. They did a study, I believe, or some research somewhere, but they basically said if you put your phone to grayscale, your screen time will just go down, even if you don't change anything else, and it's just because you're not as stimulated. The bright colours, our brains and eyes are wired so that bright colours are stimulating and that we stay focused on things. For me, shifting to something with a very, very strong colour tint like that, firstly, you just can't get as engrossed into something because there's nothing really sort of feeding your brain and intriguing you that much because everything's just red. But also, what you can do is just go black and white, and try sitting watching a YouTube video in black and white after a while. It gets a bit boring, but that's sort of the point. So I leave mine on this red. I find it's less like jarring on my eyes, and I find overall my screen time has gone down. It's just been much, much more helpful. Show you this as in my home page at the moment. In terms of my home page, I've made it just more simplified in terms of I've sort of dumbified my phone a little bit. So I have camera, messages, calls, Safari, like the internet. Then I have the weather. I have like a large clock so I can see the seconds counting down if I need to track something or whatever. And then just my battery percentage, which also one of you showed me I didn't know how to put it at the top. So thank you. So I've got it in 2 places now. And then if I need to look for a certain app or check the Discord or whatever, then I can just swipe down and search. So you can just dumbify your smartphone a little bit without losing all the other areas of it that you need. Like for me, emails, banking, finance stuff. So I've still got that on there. And I have found my screen time has gone down. I'm still at the computer way too much because I work from a computer, you know. It's massively stopped the whole doomscrolling side of things that O-Town was mentioning there at the beginning. And I've found improvements in just overall watch time on my phone and just staring at a screen. I have found it's got a lot better. So here we are. Still 2-2. Right. I'm basically, if you are new around here or not familiar with me and what I do, 2 channels. This is Claudie Corner, where I just do everything from playing video games to sitting and chatting about stuff and Lego, plants, whatever it may be. It's just really a creative space for me to talk about anything. And my other channel, which was my channel that I started last year, is a reaction channel. I watch interesting TV shows, I react to them, tell my views, how I feel about it, and then we discuss it through Q&As and other stuff. We watch them behind the scenes, we learn about how they make the show and all that kind of jazz. I make something called Claudetoons. On my Patreon, every month there is a new phone or computer wallpaper that I make, and it's these little cartoon characters that I like to come up with. And what I basically found was when watching the shows, I would get inspired to draw the main characters of the shows as these little animated characters. And I am at this point halfway through season 3. I think for you guys, you got episode 6 and 7 coming out pretty soon over Christmas, and I'm a couple of episodes ahead. But yeah, I'm coming to the end soon of Ted Lasso season 3. There's some amazing characters in the show, and I really like the idea of drawing them as my little cartoon characters. So I've just got some paper here, going to be doing some sketches in the background while I discuss some other stuff. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be cracking on with today. 5 minutes extra time. Come on, Newcastle. I'd just like to see them do well. So let's start with Ted. We were joking in the Discord, in the Hangout the other day. For me, Ted's a squirrel. Although he does say in season 1 he'd like to be a panda. If he could be a lion or a panda, he'd like to be a panda. But I think Ted's quite squirrel-like. Let me pull up a picture of Ted Lasso or Jason Sudeikis. Certain more photos from certain files have been released today. I won't be going into that topic. I know season 4 will be on its way soon. Oh, that's a good picture of Ted with the visor, Richmond visor and beard. What animal would Beard be? This is not going to make much sense if you haven't seen the show, but they're the two main characters. I'll start with Ted the Squirrel. That's what I'm going to get going with first. I'll see the end of this Newcastle game through, and then we'll carry on discussing some topics. Do squirrels... I don't think squirrels have pouches, do they? Because they're not marsupials. No, they're rodents. Are they rodents? Are squirrels rodents? Yes. They don't have pouches. It's a shame. They could put all their nuts in their pouch. Oh, in a cheek pouches. Yes, of course they do. Okay. That could be quite funny at some point. I like the idea that he's stuffing the biscuits that he makes for Rebecca in his cheeks. That could be quite cute. Also, if you are new around here or may not know, I love the animals called quokkas. Big fan of quokkas. Well, we've had different names. So we call it Claudie the Quokka, the little quokka character. I did a Mizu quokka, Mizu from Blue Eye Samurai. Novak Djokovic, tennis. Maria Sharapova, another tennis there. And I do adore them. Anything cute and fluffy and sort of mouse-like, really. So I'm a big fan of squirrels. And I do feel that Ted is a squirrel. This is already really cute. Oh, there's a free kick calling. Free kick or penalty? No, that's way outside the box. No. He also looked like he fell for it. I can't also believe that Christmas is so close around the corners. Oh, they're checking a red card? Red card for a denial of a goal scoring opportunity? Oh, that's a bit soft. Right, anyway. Yeah, Christmas. This year has gone so quick. I think for me, like I say, work in marketing, I'm usually thinking a couple of weeks to a couple of months ahead when I'm working on marketing campaigns or whatever, working with clients. They're always looking, a few weeks or months ahead. But for me as well, doing personal content and that journey that I've been on this year, when I'm at the beginning of the month, I'm like, right, what videos do I need to record this month? And sometimes some other stuff will come out during the month and I'm like, well, I've got to check that out because my audience is asking for it or whatever. So I'm always thinking a good 2-3 weeks ahead. And yeah, it's made the year go even quicker for me, actually. We are a quarter of a century through this century. And that's freaking me out a bit. I know that's how time works, but still. I think I'll finish 2-2. All right, 2-2 is what the score was. Does that help Arsenal? I don't know. We'll see later. Right. He also wears sort of aviator sunglasses, so I'm going to add those in. This is just a quick sketch so far. He's got his little visor on, aviator glasses, and then little moustache as well. So these will be some sketches that I can work with later, which is grand. That would do for now. That's quite Ted Lasso squirrel-esque. And then I think he needs a big fluffy tail. But yeah, there's Ted Lasso the squirrel. Right. Oh, O-Town mentioned something else here as well that could be quite interesting. The idea of feeling more isolated in a world more connected than ever has always been of interest to me. If I remember rightly, I think I said in the video, the thoughts on YouTube video, social media feels anti-social media. It is weird, right? I think we have a sense of connectability, but I don't think we have elements of community because, I have online communities. In the Discord, a lot of you guys hang out and you do games night and book club and stuff, but we are sort of all over the world. We're not close to each other. We can't help each other desperately in times of crisis. We have connection, but we don't have community. And I think that is something lacking a lot from people's lives. The main issue that I think I've noticed as well is friendship. Most people don't have it. I don't think the concept of adult friendship is how it's presented in movies and TV either. I think it's very difficult to build genuine, proper friendships. But I think more than ever the concept of false friendships is prevalent. This idea of just somebody you can joke around with but isn't really going to be there next to you as and when you need them. I think as well a lot of people are comfortable online talking with people. I've even seen in my Discord people open up to each other and they don't, like, we do know each other because people come online every day or whatever, but we're not face to face. And I think in some ways people are more comfortable being faceless and connected to people as opposed to being face to face and connected. I think in some ways that's a problem. I think a bit like, again, how I mentioned in the other video, we're hyper stimulated by content and stuff that it's edited, but actually if you put something at normal conversational pacing, people might find it dull or not be able to truly follow along because it's not fast paced enough. I think that's another problem. In order to be integrated into conversation and consume information, we need it snappy. Whereas life doesn't happen snappy, and you don't want it to happen snappy either, right? You want life to happen at a comfortable pace. But we seem to be more than ever comfortable with just being able to click to the next video and scroll onto the next one. And I think, yeah, it's concerning. I think if content is your hobby, as much as I'd appreciate it as a content creator, from a human standpoint, from a looking out for someone else standpoint, I would always advise on actual human connection as opposed to online human connection the best you can. Because I don't think it is replaceable in the way that sometimes we'd like to think it is. I don't think it works that way at all. What animal is Coach Beard? He's also squirrel-like, but I can't do two squirrels. Me. What animal is Coach Beard? Oi, you lot. If Ted Lasso is squirrel-like, what animal is Coach Beard? I've already decided Roy is a bear. That's because he looks like one. Meanwhile, is there any other topics to discuss? I'm not sure if this topic is too broad, but maybe at some point you could talk about internet safety and how it has declined significantly over the past decade or so. It's scary how much information people reveal about themselves these days without any hesitation or second thoughts. It's like an addiction. They just have to film, document and post everything they do on social media. I agree. I even had someone ask me once, would you do daily vlogs? And just the sheer thought of it made me wince. I don't mind, I mean, again, it's going to sound hypocritical coming from a content creator, but I don't mind sharing elements of myself or my thoughts or opinions or even elements of my life online if I feel it is topical and if I feel that it is helpful or even entertaining, right? You know, regarding the other channel and just my thoughts and feelings on the shows that I watch, etc. But what scares me is I'm a fully grown adult who's, you know, mid to late 20s. I can talk about myself. I'm someone who works. I know not everything, but I know the way things work. What you have is... What is happening? There has been like 5 helicopters today. Anyway, is Trump coming over or something? What's happening? It's sort of like 5 Chinooks. What the hell is going on? Anyway. The concern that I have mostly is it's one thing to share content online, film yourself, your life, things that you're excited about, what you want to do. It's one thing to do that. It's another thing to do that to get a response because you don't have anyone else to share it with, and you're doing it because you feel it validates who you are. That's a weird place to be in, and as someone who has developed an audience over the past year, however small some people might perceive it to be, you really don't want the main focus of your videos to be appearance or every single element of your personal or private life. I mean, how there are even family or couples channels, that is such a weird avenue to go down in content creation, but anywho, I'm not here to judge. I'm just more than anything shocked. I think shock's the right word, by the sheer element of like poor self-awareness from content as well. Like how quickly someone will become a content creator and not realise what they're saying is out of touch. That's another thing I find odd. They'll talk about something that's ridiculously expensive like it's nothing. They'll talk about something that is prestigious or exclusive And they know they're doing it to make themselves look cool, and they've got no idea that most people won't ever experience an ounce of something like that in their lives. So not only is it out of touch in that way, just in the sense that you become very quickly unlikable. There is that guy who did like TikTok, where he would document his like 9 to 5, and then he has left his 9 to 5 to do content creation, and no one gives a fuck about him because his whole shtick was, here's me doing social media but filming my boring job. Then he gets an audience doing that and then leaves the boring job, tries to be more interesting, and people then don't find him relatable anymore because there's nothing of substance to hold on to. And I think that's a real issue. I find it very, very bizarre that there is that level of poor self-awareness. And then just from a safety standpoint, I don't think you need to show a fucking house tour to in any way have someone go, oh, you're cool, I'll click subscribe. That just feels like such a low-hanging fruit to entice someone with. And you've got to realise is the majority of people online watching and consuming your content are children or teenagers. Whether you like it or not, every single one of my Claudie TV videos, since they've been monetised, and I think even before, because you have to go back and re-verify some stuff once you get monetised, you have to say whether or not your content is suitable for children. I, every single time, click no, because in most of the time I'm watching shows that children should be watching, like Blue Eye Samurai or whatever. And secondly, I swear like I'm a sailor. I will swear to my heart's content all the time. I'll have discussions of topics that really shouldn't be heard by a child or even young teens. And, you know, I'm always aware of that. And I always click, always, not suitable for children. And then when you go through the monetization requirements, you have to basically say, you know, if it has profanity in it, you have to put limited ad revenue, essentially. So it limits the kinds of ads that can be shown on your videos. You have to say if there's anything gory or graphic or sexual in any of the videos. And even though I'm reacting to TV shows and I always cover nudity, especially when it's going out on YouTube, I will always click that there is nudity. I will always play it very, very safe, even if it affects the overall video's spread and ability to trend. I will always limit it because I would rather grow an audience that isn't 9-year-olds. It protects me as a creator. It allows me to build an audience that is open for more discussion of adult themes and I think will just be more interesting content. Secondly, it protects the younger audience from things that they really shouldn't be seeing. But you're right, there are so many loopholes in social media that I know I have people in my Discord or in my comment sections that are teenagers or younger. And there's nothing really I can do about it. Everything I have done to try and protect them from it is to limit them from being able to see my content, and somehow they still show up. I'm not saying that it should be on the parents. I'm not saying in any way that it should be like it's all their fault, because the platforms are at fault as well. But the problem is there's such big international corporations that there's nothing you can do. They have such a monopoly on the market. There's nothing you can do to hold them truly accountable. When you've got people committing terrible things to themselves whilst talking something like AI and ChatGPT, and people can't even sue the company because, well, it's just a language learning model and it just responds to whatever you want it to say. I mean, what are you going to do? This is just a social media algorithm. There's nothing you can do to combat that other than, I think, educate younger people on the dangers of the internet and putting yourself online, whether that be through a consumer of content upon it or a creator of it. Be very careful to what degree you consume on social media, and I think more than anything, just don't reveal anything about yourself. In-person friendship, sharing things in person with your family, it's far more rewarding than sharing it with a bunch of other people, unless you feel it is particularly valuable. But even then, that doesn't mean you have to truly open up about yourself. You can, for example, I could talk about things in my life without needing to show it to you. You know what I mean? You can still keep elements of privacy. And more importantly, I would say to adults, be careful of the information you're putting out online, especially if it's about children. The amount of times. Again, family, couples channels, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you putting videos of kids in nappies on the internet? Do you know what freaks are going to enjoy that? I mean, fact, fully grown adults can't figure out they shouldn't put a picture of their kid covered in spaghetti at the dinner table on YouTube. I mean, how, like... how are you so fucking thick that you can't even figure that bit out? I don't know, it baffles me and it annoys me, as you can see. But I think the best thing you can just offer anybody is like, study it. Study what happens when the wrong information gets out about you online. Look at what happens to people where things go wrong and scare yourself with it, because then you won't make any stupid decisions. And it's the internet's a scary place. I think it's one thing to talk and share and offer to help or entertain people. It's another thing to basically be a walking reality show. Don't do it. Terrible idea. Awful idea. And I still to this day don't know why people do it. Or a raccoon or a prairie. Yeah, it is a prairie. Beard very much is a prairie. Yep. We're gonna go with prairie. They call it a prairie dog? Fascinating. Prairie dog. I think he needs to be a little bit more bottom heavy than Ted. Sorry, Beard. But it works because Beard's hat. Yeah, that's fine. We can add that in. Beard has quite big ears, but a prairie dog doesn't. I think just little ones at the side. Yeah, that's fine. The mouth is perfect. That's very, very Beard. This was a great shout, by the way, Josh. Good one, brother. And then the eyes are quite close together on a prairie dog. I won't draw details of the hands at the moment because I'll be redrawing it when I draw the bunch of them. I think I'll tweak this a little bit as and when I go to do another edit. But there we go. Squirrel Ted and prairie dog Coach Beard. There they are. Just stumbled over the buzzword regarding the push to make your product worse for your customers and for yourself, as you can't prioritise your will for quality anymore. Enshitification, as I gather it. Cory Doctorow coined that term a while back when he wrote a book about it. Interesting. Yeah. I've recently had this issue trying to find some clothes going to a store, and all I can find is polyester blends or just polyester, and it's driving me mental. I'm so tired of shitty quality clothes. Food ain't the same. Food is not the same like it was before 2020. I don't care what anyone says. It's different. Supermarket food's so different. I remember a lot of you guys have mentioned, like, would you ever do merch? And I genuinely would be down for it. One, I just have to make sure that I cannot do print on demand stuff. I'd have to do it from scratch, which would involve budget. And then secondly, would it be a valuable thing to provide? More clothes. I don't know. I don't know if there's something else I could do that would be better. Because like I said, I've thought about, like, recently, before Christmas, like, get myself some different clothes, and there's some stuff I'd like to change up in terms of style. I can't find anything that I like, genuinely. It's not only style, I'll look at something that I like the design of, it's just awful quality. Give it 5 washes, it will all be funny. It's just, and companies know, they know their products are different, and it's enshitificated. It is way more than it ever used to be, but it sort of benefits the companies. If you're buying a t-shirt and it's only going to last 5 years instead of 10, you're going to go back and buy another t-shirt quicker. Before you know it, clothes are going to be a subscription service. I mean, that's just absurd, isn't it, really? There's a massive push for quantity and not quality, isn't there? In everything. And I don't know where that leads. What happens when there is more and more demand for stuff to buy, but not an economy or consumer base that has the capacity to buy it? Collapse? Complete economic collapse? I don't know. I don't know where that's going, and that's a whole other problem, is just the quality of product that gets released. Terrible. Awful. Diabolical. Let's do one more sketch. Let's do a sketch of Roy while I'm here. Roy is another one on the coaching team. Roy's a bear. I've said it from day one, Roy's a bear. So I'm going to draw Roy as that. So that's what I'm going to do. Roy Kent the bear. I think he needs to be... I'm going to have to make him more rotund than he is in the show. Because Roy isn't rotund, but a bear is. So I'll just go with that. And he needs to have long legs. Like, I've done Beard and Ted as sort of more short legs. Roy does need some legs that are longer because he was a footballer. So I need him to be an athletic bear, not a cuddly one. Though Roy is quite a cuddly bear. Anyway, I've got to a scene where he's wearing quite an interesting outfit. So I will be doing hints of that here because it is very funny. And I don't know why I like drawing people as animals and not people. I do draw humans. I just, for some reason, when I draw these characters as cartoons, the idea of each of them being a different animal has appealed to me so much. Don't even fully know why. I think I've made him a little bit too chubby. Don't look quite right, the build. Oh, I know what I should do. I should cross his arms. His angry arms. Yep. Not perfect, but it's a good enough sketch where I'll be able to come back over this later, as and when I do a proper. I've only done, like I said, I've only done one for 2 of the arcane characters. I did a Blue Eye Samurai-ish one, and the others I haven't done. I'd like to maybe go back and do little cartoons for all the shows. It'd be quite nice. But there we go. Here is Roy Kent as a bear. Hopefully that's in. There he is. There we go. That's a productive little sketch time, whilst talking about, I think, some very poignant topics. Well, thank you very much for watching. Comment below if there's anything you'd want me to touch on in the future. Doesn't mean I necessarily will, as it may not be something I feel I can answer, or might just not be a topic that I want to go down. But nonetheless, comment. Let me know your thoughts, and I will definitely do more like this in the future. Hopefully I'll be able to get back outside. Maybe go for a nice walk or something, or just sit in the garden again. That would be a nice thing to do rather than being indoors. As always, thanks for the ongoing support and just being there to listen and watch my videos. I really appreciate it. Take very good care of yourself, and I'll see you back round here soon. Bye bye.